For generations, the Middle East has captivated global attention. It's a nexus of history, culture, and profound geopolitical interests. Long before it commanded headlines, the United States maintained limited ties to the region. Early 19th century commercial links hinted at a budding interest. However, America's involvement expanded dramatically only after World War II, reshaping the regional landscape. The goal became clear: prevent Soviet influence during the Cold War and secure a stable flow of vital resources, particularly oil from the Persian Gulf. This ambition fundamentally altered United States foreign policy, turning a distant land into a strategic imperative. The Cold War era saw the United States deliver extensive support to anti-communist regimes across the Middle East. A key moment arrived with the Eisenhower Doctrine in 1957. This policy emerged from the Suez Crisis, filling a power vacuum left by declining British influence. It essentially granted the president the power to intervene militarily in the Middle East without direct congressional approval. Washington committed to stabilizing the region. It aimed to counter Soviet threats or internal turmoil. The United States actively dispensed economic aid to shore up allies like Jordan and even sent troops into Lebanon to prevent revolution. This marked the United States as the uncontested Western power in the Middle East, firmly establishing its security patronage. A cornerstone of United States policy in the Middle East revolves around Israel. The United States was the first nation to extend diplomatic recognition to Israel in 1948, and this relationship has strengthened over decades. Congress places significant importance on maintaining close ties, viewing Israel as a strategic ally. Military aid flows consistently. Some analysts even refer to Israel as America's aircraft carrier in the Middle East due to the military foothold it offers. This unwavering support, particularly evident in recent conflicts like the Gaza War, amounts to billions of dollars in military and humanitarian aid. Yet such backing also draws criticism. Human rights organizations have raised concerns about alleged failures to prevent humanitarian crises. This has sparked lawsuits against the Biden administration for its role. Another critical pillar of American influence is its long-standing alliance with Saudi Arabia. Beginning with the Quincy Agreement in 1945, the United States committed to providing military security in exchange for assured access to oil supplies. This partnership deepened, with America replacing the United Kingdom as the primary security patron for Saudi Arabia and other Gulf states by the 1970s. However, this strategic alliance faces mounting strains. Recent tensions have emerged over Saudi Arabia's defiance of United States calls to increase oil production, and its strengthening ties with China and Russia. Reports highlight that United States-made bombs have been used in attacks. These attacks indiscriminately targeted civilians in Yemen. This has led to significant backlash and a push in Congress to end American assistance for Saudi military interventions. Few relationships encapsulate the shifting dynamics as starkly as that between the United States and Iran. Before 1979, the United States exerted considerable influence. It even orchestrated a 1953 coup to reinstate the Shah. This was motivated by fears of Soviet encroachment and the nationalization of Iran's oil industry. However, the 1979 Islamic Revolution severed diplomatic ties and ushered in an era of hostility. The United States now views Iran as a primary challenge, citing its nuclear program and support for regional militant groups. This dramatic reversal transformed a once close ally into an adversary, setting the stage for prolonged economic pressure. The United States initiated sanctions against Iran in 1979. They intensified significantly after the Islamic Revolution and again in 2006, targeting Iran's nuclear program. These measures aim to cripple Iran's energy, banking, and shipping sectors, isolating it from the global financial system. When the United States unilaterally withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal in 2018, sanctions were reinstated and expanded, effectively tightening the economic noose. Despite calls from the United Nations and some European Union members to ease these restrictions, particularly during humanitarian crises, the United States largely maintains its stance. This leads to a constant tug-of-war over international policy and Iran's ability to trade. The impact of these sanctions on Iran's economy and its people is substantial. The Iranian rial plummets, basic goods become expensive, and the country's civil aircraft fleet ages, posing safety concerns. Access to crucial medicines and medical equipment is severely hampered. This leads to humanitarian concerns, with reports of shortages impacting patients with serious illnesses. In response, Iran adopted a resistance economy, prioritizing domestic production and seeking alternative trade partners, particularly China and Russia. This strategy, while aiming for self-sufficiency, also contributes to power consolidation within the government and military, as independent companies struggle to navigate the complex web of restrictions. Deterrence theory, which is the use of threats to dissuade inaction, is central to United States policy in the Middle East. For decades, America has used its military and economic might to discourage adversaries and maintain the status quo. In the context of Iran, sanctions serve as a form of coercive diplomacy. They aim to alter Tehran's nuclear ambitions and regional behavior. However, the effectiveness of this approach remains a subject of ongoing debate. Critics question whether such pressure truly changes a regime's core policies or merely exacerbates internal hardship and prompts new, unpredictable responses. The challenge lies in ensuring that demands are credible without triggering unintended escalation or further destabilization. The United Nations Security Council, designed to maintain international peace and security, often becomes a stage for the complex interplay of United States demands and regional realities. As a permanent member with veto power, the United States can significantly shape resolutions, influence peacekeeping missions, and determine the application of sanctions. This leverage is evident in its push for sanctions against Iran or its unwavering support for Israel. However, the Council's effectiveness is frequently challenged by geopolitical divisions and the national interests of its permanent members. The reliance on private consultations, where much of the Council's true work unfolds away from public scrutiny, highlights the intricate and often opaque nature of international diplomacy. The landscape of peace in the Middle East is a complex mosaic, continuously shaped by United States demands and the reactions they provoke. From historical interventions to contemporary sanctions, American foreign policy actively seeks to influence regional actors and outcomes. These demands, whether for security, economic stability, or non-proliferation, create ripple effects. They alter internal political dynamics, economic resilience, and the very path of peace-building initiatives. Understanding this dynamic is crucial, as the interplay between global power and regional aspirations continues to define the future of this vital part of the world.